You're not poor, are you, gamers? You're willing to pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6, aren't you? Because after all, this is the mature game for mature gamers. It's worth $100. Actually, I, being the mature gamer that I am, would pay twice that for the chance to play Grand Theft Auto 6. Right? Grand Theft Auto costs $100. And they're clearly gearing up for this because the industry is bleeding money. Uh costs are out of control. Trying to drive Nintendo out of business has resulted in this endless pursuit of graphics that has led to console manufacturers and third-party developers just going bankrupt left and right. And this is the natural conclusion: just ballooning costs to games that everyone was going to buy anyway. Okay, it's not enough for Grand Theft Auto 6 to sell 1 billion units. It has to sell 1 billion units at $100. And this is just bad business sense. Like, they really think that Grand Theft Auto is going to somehow save the video game industry by being sold at $100. And that's kind of why they're pushing this angle so hard, while simultaneously saying that $80 for Mario Kart World is too expensive. They are legit trying to gaslight you into thinking $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6 is perfectly acceptable, when in reality, all they have to do is just be cheaper. But if they went cheaper, they would lose the only edge they have over the competition. And that is the fact that their games are so over budget, that they put so much time and effort into things that nobody cares about, like the notches on the guns, or like horse balls like contracting realistically in cold weather. Like, this is the stuff they waste their money on instead of producing good video games. Like back in the PS2 era, you would get a new GTA like every couple of years, and now it's been 12, soon to be 13, since Grand Theft Auto 3, and we are what we're seeing now is just this complete implosion of the AAA gaming industry. The natural conclusion to Final Fantasy VII's tactic of being entirely cinematic, visual based, cutscene driven video games. Like, this is the end result of that, is that nobody is excited about this game. They're excited about how big it's going to be and how much money it's going to make. And that's all anybody talks about. You understand just how creatively bankrupt Rockstar Games actually is, because these games aren't good. They don't excite people. Like, people don't like look back on Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4 fondly. The only thing on their minds is how cool they're going to look cruising in their Cadillac in Los Santos. Okay. Like, that's all they can think about. Actually, no, it takes place in Vice City, doesn't it? Well, like, oh yeah, they can't even come up with new locations anymore. It's always Los Santos. It's always Liberty City. It's always like they can't do anything. Like, they're just stuck in this creative rut where they're doing the same things over and over and over again, and all of their attempts at doing something different essentially amount to woke subversions. And there is no getting around the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be unbearably woke, to the point where the single player campaign is going to be completely unplayable. Like, but that's not why people play Grand Theft Auto, is it? All people want to do when they play Grand Theft Auto is drive over squirrels and just shoot cops. It is a Black Lives Matter simulator. I've been saying this for a long time. But like, Grand Theft Auto is just trashy, degenerate, just a symbol of everything wrong with the video game industry. It is by far one of the biggest indications that our society is sick. And the fact of the matter is, the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 costing $100 is celebrated by gaming journals and the industry at large should be a major red flag that this game is going to be a complete disaster. This is shaping up to be Cyberpunk 2077 all over again. It's supposed to be something that, like, the entire industry looks up to for years, and yet at the end of the day, just is a wet fart and doesn't leave much of an impact whatsoever. People try and gaslight you into thinking Cyberpunk 2077 is some major gaming milestone, but in reality, it is a complete and total failure. Like, it didn't go anywhere. Not only did Cyberpunk 2077 fail, it also took down the Witcher IP and CD Projekt Red with it. There will be no recovery for that studio because they don't have the people that made The Witcher 3. They don't have any new IPs to fall back on. Everything they do is just going to be a stale rehash of what's come before. There will be no recovery for CD Projekt Red in its entire history, and we're still supposed to believe the game was successful. Like, please. That is what's going to happen with Grand Theft Auto 6, right? It's going to be a repeat of the Witcher 3 situation in which this game comes out, it's worshipped by the media, declared to be like the game of the decade. It's supposed to be this huge, phenomenal thing, and, Pokemon will outgross it. Nintendo will outperform it. Grand Theft Auto 6 isn't in a position where it can like sell video game consoles anymore. I imagine a lot of people are just gonna like wait a bit and then pick it up again on PS6, or the Switch 3 or whatever, right? Like, there is no Grand Theft Auto 6 is not going to destroy Nintendo. that's kind of the reason why we're seeing so much like simping for Rockstar Games is like people believe that Rockstar can carry the mature games for mature gamers angle, and in fact, they are pretty much the only reasons that narrative ever took off to begin with. Like, the idea that there's no market for games for kids, the idea is that games can't be made for all ages, the idea that things have to be super realistic and everything has to be over budget. Like, Rockstar was behind all of that. And to see them finally kind of fall off and begin their slide into irrelevancy is very, very exciting. And honestly, it's already begun. The coping and see like I have spoken to a lot of younger people who consider Red Dead Redemption 2 to be one of the worst games ever produced. And I think if you're the kind of kid who sits and watches like adults like soy jack over it, the same way that they do over sports, you do start to get this feeling that like it's super lame. And that's kind of my perspective looking at this. Looking at Grand Theft Auto 6 and how overhyped it is. Like, we're reaching the point where Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar's business model is going to be seen as lame. And when that happens, when that inevitably happens, when people start turning to other franchises, other brands exclusive to Nintendo hardware, there simply isn't going to be anywhere for PlayStation and Xbox fans to go. The entire business is going to be shuttered. They aren't going to be able to compete, and Nintendo will reign supreme as the leader of the console market, like they have been since the 90s. Like, all Grand Theft Auto is a giant cope. All it's done over the past 20 years is delay the inevitable, and Grand Theft Auto 6's release will do nothing but exemplify that fact.